Oh, hello. Greetings. Excuse me. Receiving your content. All right, we're live, folks. How's everybody doing? It's nice to see you all here on my channel today. My name's Dustin Cormier. Welcome to another episode of How to Rock Spirit. Today, we are going to be talking about one of my signs, actually. I am the Day of the Horse, and it really comes through my character. If you know, we've been talking about the horse as this sort of heartfelt, living by kind of the seat of its pants kind of character. I mean, we like to be spontaneous. We like to say whatever's on our minds, kind of for better or worse. And we're really like kind of flamboyant. And we make it like a part of our thing. It's me on my day, so I really express it deeply to people because the day pillar really shows who you are in relationship with others. Now, today we're talking about the sign of the horse, the year of the horse, whatever, coming through the Western sign of Cancer Sun. As usual, this is a live stream, so anybody who's watching either live or on YouTube, feel free to make a comment, and I'll be able to take a peek at it and see if I can make whatever comment on it that I can. Now, we just did a whole episode on how the horse relates with Cancer. We really took it from the place of the sun's rulership of Venus as the Water Pancha-Tattva in our previous video. I won't go too much into it. I want to just keep this to the conversation at hand. But Cancer is ruled by the moon. So Cancer's main rulership is the moon. But Venus is a necessary exponent of the moon. So wherever Venus is, you as a Cancer sun, the sun does well in Cancer. The moon is a friend of the sun. So being a friend to the sun, that means that the sun is going to do well with Cancer. The sun has an easy time expressing its nature when it's in the sign of Cancer, because the sign of Cancer relates to something that's also close to the self. The sun is the Atman, and it's sort of like the metaphysical data of our whole integrated egocentric framework from our past. It's from our soul coming through as this data. And the moon is our sense, also in the past lives, whether we've taken the time to sense internally where this direction and data is going, and how this egocentric framework that we are can move itself towards the ideal place of integration and self-realization. Sounding super wordy, but I'm going to try to keep this on task and point. Sun in Cancer. The placement of the moon in your chart is going to describe your strength with regarding seeing and knowing your internal self, and how you can find some place in yourself that's fortified and can bring that fortification, that self-awareness, wherever it goes. Cancer people have had the door open for them in their youth, where reality has given them the capacity to be able to adapt. And it's this adaptability. The crab moves sideways. Not necessarily forward, but it gets such a wide range of experiences regarding whatever that it's dealing with. It learns how itself can deal in this field, and once it tries out this field, it's like, okay, now I'm going to try out this field. And it can do it. It has the resources to go out and just like try this whole other field, and then it tries another one. Cancer's really a bit of a globetrotter in a way. It's got Sagittarius in its 6th house, so it's constantly in little ways exploring new realities and ways of thinking in regards to its field, and it integrates them all into a sense of itself. Especially, that's what the sun in Cancer is like good at. So they have a wide range of experience and intuitive thought regarding whatever field it's in, and it will take that as a skill in whatever field it applies itself to, as the sun. Sun is best in the 10th house, and it's like looking to do things in the public and that kind of thing. Now, if you have a strong moon, whether you have a strong moon will determine how good your sun is at using these potentials that it has. The sun has a certain set of potentials in Cancer. Wherever the moon is going to show the strength of the self and the sense of self, which is then going to move forward using these skills, because Cancer is a creator. Cancer has a sense of what other people want because of its own moon. Cancer sun, I mean. Cancer sun people want to create things that make other people's lives easier. That's like the perfect description of what Cancer sun is and does. Their sun energy is consciously attuned to what makes them feel good if their moon is strong. If the Cancer sun person's moon is strong, they will know what makes them feel good. And they will know what's good for them. They will know how to adapt. And they will know the things that they use in the world in order to make them comfortable and able to adapt. And they will apply this to their job. They'll probably find some creative invention or something in the market which is needed. You know, it's this kind of person who will see something in the market and say, you know, like, I know something in myself that would do great in this market, and then they'll introduce it to it, you know. But if they don't have a strong moon, they won't have a sense of what makes them happy, of what makes them emotionally satisfied, about what makes them feel identified with something or satisfied. So if you've got the moon in like the 10th house, you might be constantly trying to impress other people and never thinking about what's good for you. And so you might not be able to, or if you've got the sun in like Scorpio, the sun, the closer the sun, the closer the moon gets to Scorpio, the less the moon is aware of itself in relation to others. The moon in Scorpio is constantly getting pushed around, even not just Scorpio, but the moon in like Sagittarius or like Libra, close to Scorpio. The moon will be more focused on, people will push them around emotionally, and they'll be sensitive to other people's emotional reactions, and they'll react to those reactions, and then they won't get a solid sense of their own capacity to feel emotionally centered, and then they'll lose this skill that Cancer sun has if the moon is not well placed. They'll lose the sense of empathizing with people and adapting to other people's needs, and then they might not be able to express their sun quite as well. Now, Venus, I've made the point in our last video that Venus is to the moon what Mars is to the sun. Mars is the general for the sun, and the sun is here, and Mars is the filter that says, okay, I see what the sun wants, and we've got to logically calculate our resources and put this resource over here, and then put this resource over here, and then this resource over here, and it does it in a calculated and logical fashion and stays with those individual resource usages. So a strong Mars person is noble about, like, I have to use my time and take it over here. Sorry, you know. Venus is like the general in that way to the moon, but it's data coming in instead of going out. It's like the moon knows what it wants, and Venus experiences lots of different realities, lots of different people. A good, strong Venus will lend itself into the world easily without being too timid or afraid of engaging with people. And that way, the Venus, you know, engages in lots and lots of different things, and this gives the moon lots of data regarding what its needs are. So the self, essentially. The self, the person, the whole constituent persona gets a feel for the tools, the emotional tools, the family, the people, the social relations, the social networks, which will draw them to a more useful sense of what keeps them centered and what can keep them strongly going forward towards their sun, towards whatever it is in their sun that they want to express. So Venus is important to Cancer, as well as the moon. Wherever the moon and Venus are, by strength and by everything, it's going to help express Cancer sun's abilities and capabilities and potentials and desires. Oh, no problem, Goosey. I was taking a break too. We've been going for a long time. Me and my pal Goosey is always here for all of my astrology readings or my astrology videos. We've been going since 4 o'clock, and that's like a 4-hour video. If you want to read about the year of the horse coming through Cancer, Libra, and Taurus together because of the Water Pancha-Tattva nature of these 3 signs, feel free to check out that video. But for now, today, we've discussed a little bit about the nature of Cancer. Now, the horse, we've just been talking about how the horse is kind of this heart-centered figure who goes for what its comfort zone wants and is very blunt with talking with other people. And it can even be blunt about its own desires and needs, for better or worse, really. The horse will give itself the space to experiment with its wants and needs. And this is great for Cancer, because the Cancer in this person, what the books are going to tell us from what I've read, is that Cancer calms down the horse a little bit. The Cancer is a bit more willing to take on a single job that makes it happy. Although, again, the Cancer is willing to adapt. So a good, strong Cancer sun person has the capability to try to do all the things that horse wants to do. Horse wants to go on adventures, and it won't stay in one job too long if it's not like happy with the freedom and open breath that it offers. So, and the Cancer sun is like, yeah, it's consciously trying to align with what makes what affords it a joy that makes their life easier. Cancer's looking for that, and the horse is looking for that. So there's a two-way thing going on there. It can make it difficult for them to stick to one job that's like tough, where their boss is really coming down on them for a long time. Although not necessarily. Depends on the placement of Saturn. And the sun is good in Cancer. If you've got the sun in the 4th house, it might be a little bit tougher or if you've got, Saturn with the sun, it might be really tough for this person in that regard to stick with one job that will be practical and actually give them, a satisfying life. The Cancer horse might just be running from this job to the next and then from this job to the next, never really sticking with anything that's going to finally bring them lasting satisfaction. And it might be tough if you've got a harsh aspects to your sun or harsh aspects to your Saturn. It might be tough to stick with the family in the long run because the horse will just want to run away to greener pastures. These are all things that we got to keep in mind. Although the horse, every Cancer person has a deep capacity to have a family, really. So the horse really gives the Cancer the space to apply its ability to adapt, which is very beneficial for the Cancer, who eventually gets lots of life experience and can be outgoing, especially too. And people who love the Cancer for their emotional ability, people will see a forthrightness of the Cancer coming through the horse. The horse will be forthright, although also being empathic. The horse will be like, well, this is my feeling of your situation. And they'll just say it bang outright. And then the person won't see an agenda or anything with the horse, because the horse's thing is just always be just from the heart, this is what I'm thinking in this moment. And people will begin to really lean on the Cancer horse for an objective opinion that's also adapting itself to the needs of the audience or the person in question. So this person can make like a great diplomat, great person who's in a group who's like, we've got to go and talk to that other group about a possible network opportunity, to tell them, ask them if they want to be a part of our group or if we want to do business together. The Cancer horse will be straight up, realistic and stand up for the goodness of their group. They'll bring it to the other group, and then the Cancer will be shrewd and sort of like, this is what we have to offer, but of course it's only at your leisure and convenience, and I think that we would do great business together because us as business people respect what your business has to offer. They'd be like nice about it like that. The Cancer in this person is accommodating, while the horse is blunt and outright. It's a good combination. From what I understand, I see it to be a positive combination for sure. Now, today, as usual, I like to say, feel free to make any comments you like. Every now and then I have to sign into this thing again, unfortunately. But as I always like to say, here on How to Rock Spirit, we are a community vibe. And so I always like anybody and everybody who's watching these live to feel free to make a comment and ask a question, do whatever you feel. And I'll do what excuse me. I'll do what I can to accommodate for your questions and concerns. And this is our little thing. We'll see your comment here and we'll comment on it and discuss it when we can. Now, our first reading, I come from 4 different books here. Our first one is I like to go smallest gumdrop, describing the essence of the sign, and that's this book. And then we'll talk about a bigger gumdrop, sort of fleshing out what we read in this book. And then we'll read another author's interpretation that fully fleshes out where we're at. Now, this is from the Little Giant Encyclopedia, the Zodiac, the Diagram Group. A little bit about the Cancer horse. The Cancer makes this horse able to appreciate the needs and wishes of others. Being more sensitive, these horses are very dependent on the love and support of close family and friends. The horse is already dependent on support of others because it's not yang. I mean, it's yang. It's penetrating and it loves to be full of bluster and it's blunt, but it won't stay in one position for too long unless it has got places where it can breathe. Unless it's got a family that it can laugh with, especially this Cancer Sun person in particular. This personality can do very well and can go very far and can try out many different varieties of life and have so much worldly life experience as long as they have a home base that they can come back to. It's their family that they've always had, that they can come and laugh and share their experiences and build on them with these people that they love. So if this person's got Venus or the moon close to the 4th house cusp, or if they're in good dignity, then these people will probably have a family that loves them and wants to hear their crazy adventurous stories. It will make them feel good about building on the skills that they feel and know intuitively that they're learning. Now, to the same effect, we're going to read another book that's also just a little gumball. A little gumball describing the nature of this character. This comes from the Handbook of Chinese Horoscopes by Theodora Lau and Laura Lau. Talking about the essential nature of Cancer Sun Horse. This is an active but calmly collected personality. Although they are refined and in tune with their environment, the Cancer horse is still subject to myriad moods and suspicions. This person will not be as self-sacrificing as the Cancer of other Chinese signs. But he or she will nevertheless have tasteful preferences and a loving nature. The horse's presence ensures that this person will be more outgoing and less inclined to take life too seriously. It's a great thing for a Cancer. The crab won't be so clinging, as the horse knows when to let go. The result is a character polished in speech and manners, but with a safety valve to protect themselves from getting over-involved. It's a great combination when you think about it, because the crab can be clinging, and the crab just subconsciously just sublimates itself into whatever's closest that feels good. And just because something feels good in the moment doesn't mean it's always best. The horse just has a natural release valve, just a natural thing where they can be super chummy. And, you know, it's Cancer, which means they're ultimately looking for the best they can get out of a relationship. And if they are with a relationship they love, they won't let them go. But the horse in this person knows when they have to let a person figure their own shit out. Sometimes we've got to carry our own water in this journey. Cancers have a way of like, I love you so much that I'm going to help you carry some of your water, and then that person loses the lesson of how to carry their own water. The horse in this Cancer person helps them insulate themselves from energy vampires and from people who are a bit too begful of the Cancer's naturally needy and clingy energy, being what it is. Others may sense the clingy, emotional, loving character of the Cancer, and they will, because it's Cancer, and they're just so lovable, and the horse is lovable too. But the horse will constantly tell people, oh, well, I got things I got to do, like this coming month I'm going to go on this other vacation down in this other place, and I got a job where it's kind of, I got this, and I'm really loyal to them, and so they'll constantly be like letting you know, wink wink, I can't fucking hang out with you Friday because I'm busy or whatever. They have that release valve, which is very powerful for a Cancer. I like to say I'm the sign of the horse myself on my day sign. I have a lot of that straightforward bluntness, and I often feel like I express it in my characters. Like, if I'm going to do something silly or goofy, I'm just going to do it, and then maybe apologize after if I have to. Now, this next reading, same regard, comes from Cosmic Astrology by Mantak Chia and William U. Way. This is going to flesh out a little bit the two little gumballs that we just discussed. Cancer month combined with the horse year. Cancer's key tone, the key word for Cancer is sense. The key word for horse is command. It's like the Cancer person senses the nature of everyone they associate with, and the horse knows how to ultimately command everybody to combine everybody's interests, everyone's skills, everyone's intentions towards one singular campaign intention. That's something the horse is very good at, and the Cancer will know the natures of the people around them in order to pit this to the best possible effect. It's a good vibe. This combination loves so deeply and is so giving that they will even do so with no reciprocation whatsoever on the part of the other person, the partner. The Cancer horse is probably the most dedicated and loving partner of all the combinations. Many people claim that they would do anything for the person they love, these people. In the case of the Cancer horse, this is literally true. This is all the result of the extraordinary romantic streak in the horse, coupled with the love of home and family of the Cancer. The Cancer horse, I should say to that romantic thing, the horse is, we saw it in our last class thing, that I guess maybe I could just show you guys here. The horse is the top of the ascending, descending chi schema. The rat is the most like yin, and the horse is like, well, snake is technically the most yang, but the horse is like the top of the chart. It's kind of like, it's a yang animal. It's really the most yang animal in a lot of ways. Yang being at the top of that summer sphere. Okay, so let's think about, there's a metaphor here that the Chinese use in terms of like energy. Spring energy is like from 0 to like 12. Summer energy is from 12 years old to 24 years old. So the summer energy, anyone who's ruled by any animal who's either snake, goat, or snake, horse, or goat, they embody this fire period. And now think about it in terms of a flower in bloom. Flowers are just sprouting and starting to bud in spring. And then in the summer, they are fully budding, ready to give out their pheromones and hormones and, you know, all the things that other and the little burrs and stuff, so that other animals will take the seed of the flower, the nectar, the pollen, and they'll bring it to another group of flowers so that it can continue the pollination. And that's like sexuality for a flower. The flowering phase is the genitals phase for the flower. And it's not even fully ripe yet. It's Earth that represents from like 24 to 36. That's like the full ripening of the personality and character. That's Indian summer. And then autumn is like, you know, the harvest, where the person harvests everything that they did in that time. So summer is like the hormonal teenager vibe of the whole Chinese zodiac. And so the horse kind of like keeps this vitalized sort of horny teenager romantic mentality. Doesn't mean that they can't be like, you know, when they're with like love is important to these people. They're vitalized by it, the horse. Living by the heart, it's just this constantly pumping biological thing. And they love to have it. Ow, my cat's killing me right now. Okay, you gotta go out, fella. Just give me 1 sec. Okay, fella, come. You gotta go out, buddy. Man, you're fucking my shit. Go. Sucks to be him. This is like the teenagehood of the Chinese cycle. It's the summer. It's in full bloom. So the horse kind of brings that full blooming summer flower of its senses, of its emotions, of its feelings. It brings this into basically like its whole life and into everything that it does. So when we think of the Cancer horse doing anything for anybody, just this romantic thing in them, it's just like they have to, no matter what age they are. It's the extraordinary romantic streak in the horse is combining here with the love of home and family of the Cancer. The Cancer horse will work 2 jobs to take care of their partner and the children, and essentially do it alone because of their dedication and forbearance, but mostly from pure, unselfish, and unconditional love. This combination is careful in their decision-making process. They have a firm list of priorities, and that list is populated with those they love and the home they share. Of course, involved here in the Cancer horse is a stoicism and a patience well beyond that of most mere mortals. That's an interesting thing to say of the horse, but the horse is patient. The horse can sit and enjoy the visions on its own mind and just be like, especially with the Cancer here, they can, if they have a bigger field that they can run in down the road, then they will be patient to get that reality manifested. Stoicism, as a philosophy, is a guiding principle, and the Cancer horse is bound by principles. They also have intelligence, which helps them navigate stormy waters and to live a rich and meaningful internal life. Now, in romance, the romantic fervor in this combination is unlikely to fade with the passage of time. The trickiest part of all for this combination is not necessarily to find someone deserving of them, but to find someone who understands them and reciprocates their love, at least to some degree. The Cancer horse has love to share and love to spare. It's kind of cute. All they need is a person to share it with. This necessitates finding a deserving person. And whoever it is should probably consider themselves very lucky. This combination is tender and affectionate, and that is more than likely something that will continue throughout a relationship. They're always that tender and just so allowing themselves to be affected by the love. You know, when the lover puts their hand on the Cancer horse's heart and they're like, oh. They're just like they get the butterflies in the stomach and all that cute shit, you know? Now, relationships. Very bad choices for this combination are Aries, Libra, and Capricorn rats. Very bad, yeah. Also to be avoided are Aries or Libra buffaloes, as well as Aries or Capricorn boars. Now, some top-of-the-line romantic picks for the Cancer horse Taurus, are Taurus, Virgo, Scorpio, and Pisces, especially those in the tiger, ram, or goat, and dog categories. For dogs, the best choices are Taurus and Scorpio for these people. Now, in family life, in this combination, their refrigerator is open to their friends, and there is no need to worry about turning on their TV. They chat in a homespun style and gossip with the best of them. They make people happy and comfortable. And once this is accomplished, then, and only then, they themselves are happy. The Cancer horse is friendly and welcoming. Of course, their home must be friendly too, and that means comfortable. This combination's home is not a museum or a showcase. This home is a place to live comfortably. It is clean and well kept, but it is not a place that causes fear about relaxing. In terms of livelihood, workers from this combination are diligent, creative, and well-liked. Not many can work harder than the Cancer horse, with the exception of the buffalo. As a result, they tend to do just fine financially. Both those who hire them and those who work for them are fortunate. They are excellent at hosting parties and always willing to spend some of their hard-earned cash. This combination is multi-talented and multifaceted. They are capable of doing nearly anything from crafts to poetry. As a result, their family is well taken care of, and their children have good foundations. It's a great combination. not every sign reads this positively in these readings, So that was that book. Now we've got one more book to read and to consider for this particular episode. But before we get there, I'm just going to take a little peek at our comments, because this is a live feed. Anybody who feels like contributing to the conversation should always feel welcome. Thank you, Goosey. I'm glad you're digging it. Cancer, but Year of the Monkey. Cool. You'll still probably dig this, Running from Adults. Oh, cool. Wonderful. That's probably pretty sweet about Grace Slick, eh? I completely agree, Goosey. I love reading too. I'm a crazy reader. I'm always reading. Rock and roll, Adrian. Love to have all you guys here, Please feel free to make any comment that you like, and feel free to continue being a part of the conversation, because spirit is so much more than any one person's spirit. I guess I don't really need this. Our next reading, about the same sign, this is going to flesh it out even more. This comes from the New Astrology by Suzanne White. It's a synthesis of the Chinese and Western sign systems that we're getting into here. I'm always like puffing up my hair here. I happen to be in the sign of the horse, like I said, so I'm always making sure that I look particularly finely outrageous. I'd say that's looking like a horse mane right about now. I'm also Leo rising. That also has something to do with it. But enough about me, said the Leo. This is our last reading for this episode of the Cancer Sun Horse. The key word for Cancer is I feel. The key word for horse is I demand. Kind of the same way that we did with the other book. Cancer feels what everybody's like. The horse makes demands, conscious demands for what's the best intention of the group. Now, the horse, you may recall, is able to give himself up to a romantic passion and chuck everything, including his self-respect, for the sake of the love. Cancer horses are, with their Scorpio counterparts, about the most self-sacrificing that there is. Love and its vicissitudes, the preservation of a home and kids and pets and insurance policies and telephone bills can all be capably taken in hand by the Cancer horse. When questioned as to why he continues to struggle so hard and so seemingly alone without compassion or cooperation, the Cancer horse merely smiles. It's for Janet. I love her. The impression given by the Cancerian horse is one of noble strength and calm. One gets the feeling with these people that you could set off a Roman candle under their chair and they would hold their ground and nod knowingly. Oh, someone has played a trick on me. Where most of us will be circling around the room screaming, "War! Help! Oh my God!" The Cancer horse will just get up and fetch us another cup of coffee. He's willing and ever so able and kind. Very little in the way of surprise can really perturb this person. The Cancer horse's appearance is always conservative, too. Navy blues and beiges and good quality lamb's wools and flannels. Sensible but chic leathers, and only the strict minimum of gold jewelry, a watch, an antique brooch or ring. No need for frills on this person's exterior. It's homey. Inside, however, there lives a certain baroqueness of spirit. Lots goes on at once inside this person's mind. Cancer horses carry an inner compass around with them. They study it before diving into foolhardy schemes, and they keep it pointed in the direction of common sense and good measure at all times. Do these people have any faults? Oh, sure. Everybody has their faults. There are no good nor bad signs, as Susan White points out. With the ability this person has to indulge themselves in sacrificial acts for the sake of others and or for the sake of a loved one, this person can naturally be very seriously hurt and embittered. Sometimes the love object might prefer his Cancer horse let up on the devotional pedal. There is such a thing as too much abjection. If you take the Cancer horse's self-denial trip away from him, you remove his raison d'etre. This can cast them down, and one begins to hear phrases like, "I don't know what I'm going to do about Sarah Jane. She's drinking too much. She carouses too late. I'm really worried. I think she'll leave me." The cry of the professional victim rings out in the night. So this is like saying, we could even switch it around for a girl. The girl is so just completely smitten and just given themselves up with complete self-denial for this man. And the guy might eventually say, like, "Honey, I'm good on some level. Like, you don't need to completely put me on a pedestal like that." And then when that happens, she's gonna start thinking, like, does he not want me to give all this love? Like, what, has he got someone else that he's like looking at or something? This is just this weird thing about the Cancer horse. Why doesn't she just try drinking herself or walking out on him? Why can she not just leap the quantum here and show Mr. Man who's boss? Because she's a Cancer horse, that's why. It's her pleasure to be the lover, the adulator, the admirer. She wants nothing to do with bravado if she has to hurt the one she loves to show it. Same thing for, like, the guy's case. He doesn't want to, the Cancer horse doesn't want to show bravado, doesn't want to show I'm the big man in this relationship. If he has to hurt the one he loves to show it. Don't worry about the Cancer horse, though. They're always building They're always the downtrodden, sorry-looking mate who has to put the house, the building, where wifey's office is, and the children and pets and cars in their name. Wifey or husband. So this is like the person who has to put their house, the building, close to the hubby's office, and the children and the pets and the cars in their name. As I said, one thing about this person is their uncanny sensitivity to the north. Doesn't miss a trick, and is not above a sleight of hand on their own to ensure their future, of course, and that of their loved ones. Sensitivity to the north. I'm trying to see what that means. They don't miss a trick, and they're not above a little sleight of hand to ensure their future, of course, and that of their loved ones. Sometimes this book has confusing grammar. But don't get the idea that this person is stingy. They're not. They are, in fact, very generous of spirit and pocket. But they are careful and cautious, and so sure of what they want that sometimes they just have to take it. They are long-suffering and can withstand much discord and zaniness from partners and colleagues. They are a sort of rock of strength. But, unlike, say, the sort of brute force strength of an ox or a Leo, the Cancer horse is a subtle emotional powerhouse who never stands still. It's like a emotional fortifying rock who's just got so much patience to just be here and to endure. For the loved one especially. Usually, Cancer horses are very manual and capable of building things for their home. They might, for example, get involved in a hobby where artistic handiwork is needed. Their product will rarely be avant-garde and abstract. The Cancer horse's artistic abilities are quotidian, not pedestrian, but of the day-to-day, concerning people in slices of normal life, how they interact, and what their joys and sorrows compromise. It's like an innovation. It's like an awareness of, again, what people want, what people need in like little moments. Like a good example of like this person's kind of innovation is like the lighter leash. Have you ever seen how some people have lighters where you can, like, people steal lighters all the time, right? So there's something called a lighter leash where you tie it to your belt loop, and then when someone asks for a lighter, it's like, here you go, and that you give them the lighter, but it's attached to the leash. So when the person goes, oh, thanks, and they try to put it in their pocket, it's on the leash, and then so it's like, aha, gotcha. That's the kind of like interpersonal, innovative invention that like a Cancer horse might build, you know? There's an important capacity for gloominess here. The Cancer horse is perhaps the least selfish of horses, but nonetheless, they prefer to have it their way. Now, when the tables start to turn, or even sometimes a glimmer of resistance appears on this horse's horizon, they can sink into depths of depression from which it isn't simple to emerge. The despair may not even be apparent to those around the Cancer horse. They may ritually and pragmatically go through their daily paces without ever so much as heaving a sigh to hint that they're sliding towards emotional oblivion. Then, one day, an accident occurs. Their car crashes into a pole, or they cut off their index finger while chopping vegetables. The blues did it. Tension and mute buildup of pain are the Cancer horse's specialty. Poor guys. Or ladies. I get it. Like the horse doesn't like confrontation that much. And they're the Cancer in this person is going to try to build a big green pasture for the loved one, for their mutual relationship. I mean, if this person has a strong moon, this might not be so much of an issue, especially if they got a strong Venus. But they might even have a strong moon, know that they're identified with what they have and their family and the loved one. But if they don't have a strong Venus, essentially, or if they don't have a strong Mars, then they might have a hard time setting their whatever complications or tensions are causing them to feel this emotional buildup. They might have a hard time putting it out there. And this kind of thing could happen. It's crazy, sort of. It's a tough thing to read. This is like Death of a Salesman is like got that written all over it, you know? The Cancer horse person who wants to just make everything perfect in every moment, make every memory. Cancer's all about memory. And the horse is so good at evading obstacles that they evade, but they'll smash their heads into other people's obstacles. But when those other people show an obstacle to their love, and their love, it's like love's a harder thing to let go of. You know how they say, anybody can deal with someone they hate because it's just hatred, and you can hate them. And it's just like, all I have to do is go away from this person and fucking hate them. No big deal. Just, those people suck. But for someone you love, it's harder to let go of something that you love that you also hate because you love them. It's like, bang, bang. It's like this thing that you're trying to get away from, but it's like, And these people have a hard time telling their loved ones anything that they have to tell them. But again, if they got a strong Mars and a strong Venus, they'll get through it. Now, with regard to love, a subject so important to this person. Love is what makes the Cancer horse's world go round. They find out very young that what they're looking for is to shower their excessive tenderness and affection on someone worthy and wonderful, whom they can love for the rest of their natural life with a burning and excessive passion. Fuck, I want one of these people in my life. I'm Scorpio, and I'm in the year of the goat, and I would just love somebody like this in my life. Where is it? What frequently happens to the Cancer horse as they stride forth, bearing this unreal mission in their huge heart, and plunks it in the lap of somebody they think is deserving, is that the other person, the one they love so much, is not at all on their wavelength. This happens a lot to them. Sure, I love you. Now, would you mind if I got down off this wobbly pedestal? Says the loved one. After all, being loved so earnestly and graspingly can be truly annoying. If you are constantly revered as though you were some kind of household movie star, you may quickly tire of the role you've been given. It is not always easy to live up to other people's ideals. There will be sentimental disappointments for our Cancer horse until they figure that out, But I see this. I get that. If you love a Cancer horse and want to be the ever after love of their life, then put on your dancing shoes. Really. If they love you and adore your style and have chosen you above all others for the rest of their life till death do you part, you can retire from searching for emotional stability. The Cancer horse provides. You, as the loved one, need only to execute the steps of the daily dances with elegance and charm. Good to know. I'm glad I'm reading this, in case I ever find me a sexy little Cancer horse lady. I guess you've really got the whole dancing shoes thing, is that like in every moment you can't, it's a beautiful thing. It's like this like heat wave of like warmth, like that oozing warmth. Even Cancer is, the sign of Cancer happens at the summer solstice, and that's like the peak of the sun's energy throughout the year. It's right in the middle of summer, and same thing with the horse. So this person is just blistering with this romantic, passionate energy, and there are lots of relationships where there's none of that, or just only so much of that. So when you have this loving person who just lives for your love to them, or just lives for them to be able to channel that love to you, it's like being out in the sun in the summer, which is awesome, but sometimes you got to put sunscreen on. Sometimes you got to go hang out in the shade because it's just too much. We look back through the memories of time and we think, fuck, I just love those memories of being in the sun and being baked by that warmth. But when you're in the moment, it's like, this is summer, this is what we've been living for, this is that high peak point of the year, this is the May 2-4 weekend where we all go out and get drunk and lie about in the sun. Make sure you drink some water and bring a tent and have those rest moments where you're out of the sun, or else you'll burn yourself out with this hot romantic energy, in the metaphorical case, right? Everything in balance, folks. Now, we talked about compatibilities. Now we're coming into home and family for the Cancer horse. The Cancer horse's home will always be a friendly place, lived in but not messy, cluttered but never sloppy. You can slouch on a Cancer horse's couch even if it did cost $4,000, more than any other couch in the store, because the fabric was hand-woven by Hopi Indians. Cancer horses are hospitable and enjoy company. They love to gossip and chat and hash over ideas. When life is going well, they are homey and cheery people. You can get your own beer out of the fridge and drink it from the bottle, or they'll serve it to you in a crystal goblet. Name your poison. Cancer horse loves to play host. As parents, these people are, of course, extremely possessive, and emotionally involved. Their kids, like their loved one, must be seen to be happy and stable and well-educated and sensible and practical and. The Cancer horse is so entangled in his own web of exigencies regarding those he cares for that he leaves himself open for frequent disappointment. The kids of this person sometimes just cannot measure up. They may want to escape the nest at a young age because of pressures they cannot bear coming from the Cancer horse parent. As a relative or pal, this person is a doll. They don't invest themselves all that much in outsiders, but they do share their jolly hearth with pleasure. A Cancer horse child will need lots of security, but must also be taught not to idealize teachers, school chums, and others. The young child will begin early trying to invest people he likes with his own high standards. This should be discouraged and logic employed as soon as he knows how to reason, he or she. A classical education won't hurt the Cancer horse either. They readily take to discipline, and as a practical soul, they will want to succeed and please parents and teachers alike. They may go through a rebellious stage. If they do, leave them alone. They'll come around. The Cancer horse is not capable of long-term alienation from those they care about. They'll come home when they're ready. Just be patient. Patience. Patience, Mom. Now, in terms of profession, there are few jobs that this person cannot undertake. They are both intelligent and skilled manually. They will always want to provide well for their family and give their kids a good start in life. Also, as they enjoy entertaining and having many guests, these people don't mind spending money. Therefore, they need to make quite a lot. But as we know, horses are workers. The horse in this person can outwork almost anyone, again, except for the ox, who works for pleasure. Being a Cancer person, this compounds this work penchant. They'll be an excellent employee and an even better boss. Of course, their tactic in bossing people is teaching by example. If this person, the president of the company, can clean out the toilets, then why does the secretary hesitate to do so? They'll empty wastebaskets and stay up all night doing accounts just to show that they are working as hard as, if not harder than, anybody else in the whole office. Career choices for the Cancer horse might be restaurant owner, professor, doctor, diplomat, cabinet maker, or entrepreneur. This person is able to do almost any job, but is well advised to steer clear of jobs requiring solitude. They like people too much to sit alone for days and days writing like poetry, for example, or like editorials. Famous Cancer horses include Rembrandt, the Duke of Windsor, Ingmar Bergman, and Karen Black. Yeah, what a beautiful character. I mean, I just got a bit of a boner for the horse in general because I'm the goat. And I'm a horse myself. I got a boner for myself, of course. I love the character of the horse very deeply. And I think, like, as a goat, I would love a woman in my life who, like, empathizes and has that sort of just, like, willing to work, willing to go, just that, like, the horses that I know. I was telling you in my last video that since I'm the goat, I'm born 91, I'm very close to my brother, who's a horse, born in 1990. And so my mother was someone who made sure that all of her kids were close and all her friends were close. So she provided a house where we could all commingle. And so all of my goat friends would hang out with all my brother's horse friends who were a year older. And they were awesome. Fuck, they're so awesome. The horse is just such a wonderful vibe because they're so real, so passionately just like, this is what I'm thinking. And sometimes they'll be harsh, especially because they're a year older than us. So they would just be straight up about whatever they're feeling, about anything. But like, if you felt capable and confident, you stuck up for yourself, the horses would see that. They, okay, all right, he's good. But it was when you had a moment of weakness that everyone would like be aware of it. It's kind of a weird thing. The horses can just be so socially real about things, but they're not ultimately out to hurt anybody. They're just out to air out everything, to keep everything just totally real. And kind of, they're very earthy people, down to earth, you know? And I love the horse personality, so I'm glad to be here talking about the horse with you guys today. Now, that was the Cancer horse, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be quiet. I'm reading comments here, and I should say for anybody watching, it's a part of my show I try to do where I look at the comments and try to answer when I can. Oh, cool. Yeah, Leo rising. It's definitely the lion's mane. Cool, Adrian. Zodiac Laters. Cool. Yep, I think that was a great reading of the horse, particularly coming through Cancer. It's just a beaut. I'm a Scorpio, so I really am a sap for everything Cancer, and I'm a goat, so the goat and the horse are best friends. So I love that character. If you're reading this right now, I love you, and I'm glad I did this reading for you. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. This has been, if you want to learn more about other Venus-centered signs. I mean, the moon is ruled by... Cancer's ruled by the moon, but as I said, Venus is the general to the moon in a way. It's like the guidance counselor for the queen, which is the moon, which is really the backbone of the whole kingdom of the self. So if you want to learn about... Well, our next video is going to be Libra horse. Actually, I should do Taurus horse first, so that's what I'm going to do. But you are going to be able to find videos from this session regarding Cancer Sun horse today, or here, Taurus Sun horse, and Libra Sun horse. And I'm always fishing out to do more of these videos. I'm really aiming to get all of the combinations out of Western sun signs and Chinese animal signs. So stay tuned for more of that. They'll always be coming out. Next episode in the series is going to be Mercury-ruled goat. So it's Gemini and Virgo goat. For everybody watching, I'm Dustin Cormier. This has been How to Rock Spirit. Thanks so much for coming, and I'll see you guys on the next.